This is a quick instructional video on how to set up the volleyball nets for either Townsend Harris or Queens College. Step 1, get the key in the crank. This is the key that's going to open the door marked 310, access denied to roof. Don't be scared about the sign. This is actually for the volleyball closet or the volleyball equipment. Come on inside. We'll take a look and see what's in there. So inside the closet, you're going to see a number of different things, but really all we're going to be paying attention to today is the volleyball equipment. You'll see the nets, you'll see the pads, and you'll see the antenna, all pretty much in the same spot. The nets and the antenna are actually in the pads to make it easy for you to carry in and out. You also have the pads that are marked where they're supposed to go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now make sure that you don't leave the key and the crank inside the room. To make sure you don't do that, there's a piece of string that's actually going to connect to the door just to keep the door open. You don't want to get locked in here. You don't want the keys to get locked in here. You don't want to be locked out. So we're back in the gymnasium. Basically what I have with me right now is your pad, your net, your antenna, and if you come a little bit closer in, what we're looking at right here on the ground is the post hole. So basically, when we go back inside, we're going to be grabbing one of the posts that holds the net to be placed in here so we could go further in assembling the volleyball nets. We're back inside the closet. When we come back in, after we take the pads out, we're going to be taking the posts out. Now, there's going to be 4 courts, and if you do the math, that's 6 posts. So you have the outside, you have the middle, and then you have the outside again. 3 posts, 2 nets, 2 sides, 4 nets, 4 courts. Again, we're back on the gym floor. We got a post in our hand, got the hole that's open. Basically what we got to do now is we have to line up the post with the hole. It's going to drop. Now we have the post in the hole. Just make sure that the apparatus to lift the net is on the outside, if we're on the outside portion of the court. And make sure that everything's lined up with the center of the court. As you can see, you have the other 2 posts in the ground set up as they should. So as we are getting ready to put the nets up, what we have to do is we have to extend the smaller cylinder up high enough that it'll be suitable for the height that the classes use. So what we do, use both hands, make sure to give a little twist because sometimes they need a little bit of oil. What we're going to do is we're going to take this to the 10th hole. Right here you see holes. We're going to count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Need to get up a little bit higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we line up the holes. This is the pin. What we're going to do is we're going to fit the pin inside the hole. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work to line them up, but it should go in fairly easy. Just like that. If you turn around to this side, you'll see that there's a little notch in the top. It'll go in just like that. Comes out on the other side. That means that the pole is secure and it won't slide down. Be sure that when you're handling the pole, do not keep your hand close to where the small cylinder and the large cylinder meet. In the case of an accident, your hand may actually get wedged in between if you're handling it incorrectly. So if you look further down, they're all lined up the same way. You have poles, you have nets, you have pads, you have antenna, everything laid down. This is where we put the nets up. We have the net on the ground. If you just circle around, It's nice and extended. You don't have to worry about any snags or any other types of hindrances as we get it up. We're going to take the loop. Okay, each net is going to have one side that looks like this and another side that is going to look more along the lines of a knotted end on a regular one. This is for the middle post. The middle post, as I showed you before, or maybe I didn't, this is the middle post. It has only these two hooks on the side. They don't have the actual crank on the side, because the crank is to crank it up. This is just to give it some support. So if you show on the top of the pole, as you see, the top of the pole has a pulley system. You want to take the cord, pull it over the pulley, and we're going to go down on the other side, and just like a fishing hook or fishing rod, it's just going to go nicely on the hook. So now we're ready to go to the other side of the net and crank it up with the crank. Okay, so we're back on the crank part of the court. We have our other side. Like I said, there is no metal hoop, so to speak. This is just a makeshift knot. We're going to take this and do the same as we did on the other side. Drape it across the top. We're going to take this, pull it down, and if you come over this way, this is the pulley, the other part of the pulley system. Same, like I said, it's like a fishing reel. And you're going to put the rope on the hook. Okay, now it should be secure, so if you have to let go, you can. This is the crank. The crank is then going to go into this spot right here. Square, square. And then we're going to go clockwise. Clockwise is tight, and the other way is loose. And as you see, we are slowly raising it up. Just keep going until it's at the top. When it's at the top, we'll finish it up. Now that we have the net up, as we had shown before, we just have to make this nice and tight. You have these ropes that are connected to the net that we're going to tie around. Just a regular overhand knot is fine. You know, like you tie in shoelaces one, and just put another knot in there, two. Now, the key is don't make these too tight, because if, for whatever reason, you don't have enough rope on the other side, you'll just be running back and forth trying to adjust it. We want to remember to have enough of the net covering the outside of the court. Next, we're going to take this bottom line. This is just going to make the bottom of the net nice and tight, just like we have the top of the net nice and tight. We're going to wrap it around, and we are going to attach it to this system. This is a nice little locking system. If you pull this portion out, it'll get loose. If you let it go, it'll be locked. So what we want to do is we want to take this hook and we just put it on this ring, and now we can tighten it up because we have this done on the other side. Where you see this on one side, you're going to see it on the other side, just like the ropes. It's going to be the same. Tie it up on one side, you tie it up on the other side. When this is connected and your ropes are connected, as you see up here, I already have the other two. This is what it's going to look like when you have a finished product, just a little bit tighter and a little bit neater. If you want to play the is it tight enough game, you can run your fingers on it, just like you would if you were tuning up a guitar. You know, listen to it or feel the tension. As you see on this bottom one, this would be very loose. Too loose, I would actually go back and retighten this just to make sure that there was enough tension on the rope, which would then give more tension to the net. Okay, so all that's left now is to adjust the antenna and put up the pads, and we're just about finished. Basically, home stretch time, we have the antennas. Antennas, like I said, mark the outbounds area or inbounds area. What we're going to do, if you take a look, we're going to line it up. This being the furthest point that would be considered inbounds. Put your thumb right here. Make sure that this is nice and level. Bring this out and hang it on the top. Okay, we can let it go now because it's going to be straight. But just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, this is the hook. You have a little screwing apparatus. When it hangs up here, we're going to go down to the bottom. The bottom has a little hook also. Basically what this does is that it's going to clip on the bottom so it doesn't move around. We just tighten on the bottom, and we're going to tighten on the top. And screw it in. Nice and straight. All that's left is to put the pads on the post. Pad like this. Bring it over here. Close this down. I know this says pad number 2. Just to let you guys know out there, this is not court 2. I shouldn't be showing you this. Just make sure that you have the right nets up. Net number 1 goes to court number 1. Net number 2 goes to court number 2. Then if we had them up, you would have 3 and 4 on the far side of the gym. It's the same exact steps, it's just a different part of the room. So once this is up, we'll do this 1 or 2 more times further down the line, just to have all of the posts covered up, and we are done.